Alright, alright. What's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency today. Going to be taking a look at XRP, Ripple against USDT. Going to be taking a look at some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be assessing some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in the very near future here. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you trade? Do you hold? Or do you let the price action unfold? What are you doing with your bag if you have one? Are you accumulating in the lows? Are you buying the dips? Are you bullish? Do you think we've found support and we're going to bounce, recover vertically to that multi-dollar range that we were interacting with, not too long ago here? Or are we still bearish and, we're selling all the way down and support is to be found at perhaps these lower ranges that we've interacted with not too long ago as well? Let me know your thoughts on the direction of price action moving forward and down in the comment section. But jumping right into it, to kind of recap, price action that has interacted with this ascending trend line since the 13th of March of 2020. We've had weeks of price action above and below, interacting with it both as support and resistance, in addition to interaction with horizontal support and resistance levels. This ascending trend line, I do believe, has provided a significant support along this kind of trend moving forward. I do believe price action will continue to respect it kind of even at these ranges up here. And so based on current sort of price action, there's very significant rejection off of that crazy swing high, $1.95 there. We had that pullback to this kind of upper range between $1.06 and $1.15, which could have been very significant support moving forward, although we were met with very heavy resistance and a very abrupt break downward, plowing through significant potential support at that kind of dollar range, which I do believe became resistance after finding support at another significant zone that price action interacted with. That 79 cents to 72 cents, I believe, was very significant resistance back in the 24th of November of 2020. In addition to the beginning of February of 2021, we've had this kind of several rejections off of that range before building up the momentum after some higher lows and continued accumulation. We built up the momentum to plow through resistance at that 72-cent level to interact with that $1.95 swing high, but very high sell pressure was at these ranges, and so price action kind of found its way downward. And so with this technical break through potential significant support at that 72-cent level there, 79 cents could have been a more bullish target plowing through these ranges, in addition to that ascending trend line. Makes this rather short-term bearish in my opinion, and I do believe some downside could occur and could continue if we were to perhaps confirm 62 cents as resistance, with price action being between my range of 46 cents to 62 cents does suggest that that could be the zone that we trade between if we were to stay fundamentally bullish enough to hold through this very high technical sell pressure. If we were to find support along 46 cents, I do believe 62 cents could become local resistance if this becomes the range that we kind of stay trapped between. Although price action could very much recover over the next couple of days. We'll know sort of pretty soon here if we start seeing some daily candles open and close below 62 cents. I do believe that would confirm that level as resistance, and 46 cents would be my target. Although, like I said, we could very much bounce. If we start finding our way above 62 cents, we could be more short-term bullish and perhaps suspect interaction with the next kind of resistance level at 72 cents, or that ascending trend line between that 72 cents and 79 cents. And so there's plenty of resistance ahead, although it does appear to be looking like we are plowing through all this kind of potential support, and we are looking to interact with these kind of lower levels. Now will be considered EngineeringRobo, along with the Fibba Zucchini lines of Illuminati geometry, sacred symmetry, and Illuminati again. We can see a new perspective come into play here. We have that sell for against price action, suggesting that kind of bearish break downward there. The 0.382 Fibonacci line at 81 cents and the 0.5 Fibonacci line at $1.03 supported that significant range that we bounced between, between like the 19th of May and sort of like the 19th of June there. So like a solid month of sort of price action between that range before breaking downward, plowing through all that significant potential support. Even this 200 daily moving average, which I do believe is quite significant moving forward. That's going to be a very high technical, bearish indicator in my opinion, and I do believe there's going to be perhaps a bit of sell pressure off of that range. So even if we were to bounce and recover interaction with 72 cents, I do believe is going to be very significant resistance, and we will likely need a lot of momentum built up at the kind of lower range of support before we can kind of break that range. And even if we do plow through 72 cents all the way up to appears to be like 81 cents could be potential resistance. And so like I said, there's a lot of thick kind of resistance kind of moving forward. Some potential points that we could recover from. If say we fail to hold 62 cents here briefly, we could interact with that 0.236 Fibonacci line at 54 cents, a more bullish target above 46 cents. And so price action holding at that level will give us more hope in the short term, and we can suspect the recovery to continue sooner than later. But I suspect as soon as we kind of confirm 62 cents as resistance, I believe we are likely to make our way to 46 cents as support. Although price action, like I said, could very well recover along that 236 line, perhaps, and we could find our way above 62 cents. So right now we're kind of in a very kind of pivotal point. Price action below the 200 daily moving average is going to be a quite bearish sell signal. An EngineeringRobo is going to be a tad bearish, and so I mean until we can see some buy signals come into play and some more support being found, then I do believe perhaps some downside is likely to occur here. But when we consider XRP against the price of Bitcoin, we can see a new perspective come into play. This new range, I believe price action could be trading within here. 2267 Satoshi does appear to be confirmed as resistance with consecutive daily candles closing, opening, closing below it, with what appears to be a retest upward and kind of confirmation there. Resistance does appear to be found at that 2267 line. Support, I do believe, if we are bearish enough to reach to, could be that 1526 Satoshi level. So there is a little bit of room for downside ahead, although this is another kind of like, bouncing point that we could recover from. Price action, failing to hold that 2267 Satoshi level, I believe is going to be quite significant resistance kind of moving forward. Once we do find support, as we did trade between that kind of range for a kind of period of sort of weeks here, we even had enough momentum to break resistance upward. So we had almost kind of 2 months of sideways between 2890 Satoshi as resistance, but finding support along that 2267 line, even enough to kind of break that resistance there at kind of 2890 Satoshi to interact with that upper range of 3440 and 3780. And so I do believe there's significant resistance kind of moving forward, although price action is looking to kind of find support here. And once we do find support and start to recover, like I said, there's going to be significant kind of sell levels and resistance kind of present all along the way up for traders to be taking profit. And so when we consider EngineeringRobo, along with the Fibba Zucchini lines of Fettuccine, Fibba Illuminati, Fibba Martini, Fibba Geometry lines of symmetry, we can see a new perspective come into play here. The 0.618 Fibonacci line could have been very significant support. Now I do believe is perhaps resistance. Why we could bounce at this level, we appear to be approaching that 200 daily moving average against the price of Bitcoin chart. So that is a tad more bullish, in my opinion, giving us a slight more hope for the short term here. I do believe price action could be met with some very crazy sideways as we find interaction with that 200 daily moving average. Support, like I said, is going to be perhaps 1528 if we fail to hold that 200 daily. The 0.786 line at 1401 Satoshi is a more bearish target, but we will have to see how price action interacts with this 200 daily before we can kind of confirm the direction kind of moving forward, as this could be a potential area that we bounce very significantly from, or we kind of plow through and kind of find support below it, and we look for the fundamental buy pressure to come in to bring us back above it. Like I said, significant resistance at that 2267 line. The 0.5 Fibonacci line at 2445, I believe, will be another sell point. The 0.382 Fibonacci line at 2872 is correlating with my 2892 resistance level. That's going to be a very significant kind of like, sell point, and we've experienced several rejections off of it, and so that does seem to correlate nicely there. And so finally, the 0.236 line at 3409 Satoshi, below my range there at like 3459 Satoshi, is going to be a next very significant point of resistance. And I do believe price action will eventually make its way back up to that range, although it's looking like it's going to take some weeks to kind of find our way back up there, as we do appear to be still looking for support interaction with this 200 daily moving average against the price of Bitcoin is going to be very pivotal moving forward. Speaking of Bitcoin, if we consider Bitcoin against USDT, we can see a new perspective come into play. Price action plowing through the 0.5 Fibonacci line, plowing through potential support at 32K, reaching all the way down to my most bearish target at 27,100 there, the 0.382 Fibonacci line. Price action can still be at that range for me to be long-term bullish, in my opinion, as I still could expect a kind of bounce anywhere from between now and that point. Price action closing below the 0.382 Fibonacci line will result in kind of a change in analysis. But until then, I do believe we're still bullish, and a bounce is waiting to happen. And so, price action, if daily candles start to close above 32K, 32,000 seems to be my significant kind of support level there. And I do believe if we see daily candles with the bodies closing above that range, so even if we have some wicks kind of like down past it, if bodies continue to close above that range, we could that could suggest potential support as being found. Say bodies start to open and close, and candles start to open and close below 32K, I could suspect interaction with 27K to be a much more imminent. Although it appears to be a bottom appears to be approaching. Price action is looking for support here very quickly. Although we are still quite overbought from this time last year, and so I do believe some more downside could very well present itself, and it would not be. It would still be quite long-term bullish, even if we were to experience more downside. The lower we get, I believe, the more bullish we can be in the long term. And so, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are you doing with your bag? If you had one, do you trade Bitcoin? Do you trade XRP? Are you accumulating in these lows? Are you buying at these levels? Or are you selling your whole bag? You sell at the top? Are you selling at what could be a potential bottom? Are you bullish? Do you think this is the bottom and we're coming back up? Are you bearish? Are we heading back down to the 20K, the teens, the lower ranges that we came from not very long ago? Bitcoin took off very parabolically from these kind of lower levels here, the sub 10K range. We were interacting with in the very near past there, and so I do believe we are still up at the end of the day, even though we are not at all-time highs at the moment. Thank you for tuning in. Try EngineeringRobo free with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media down below, and tune in for the next one.